Hey there, it's Ashley Acker from EntrepreneurJungle.com, and I am here today with Matthew Kimberly. Hey, Matthew, how are you?
Hi, Ashley. Hi, everybody.
Matthew is joining us from his last day in Vegas. He's usually in the gorgeous Mediterranean. How's Vegas this week?
You can see the bags under my eyes, I'm sure. I've had a phenomenal week and I won't be back anytime soon.
Great. Well, for those of you that don't know Matthew, he is the author of How to Get a Grip and the head of the Book Yourself Solid School of Coach Training. And Matthew is also a dear friend of mine. He's also a mentor and a coach to me. And I think he's fabulous, basically. He gives really great practical advice about how to grow your business. He doesn't kind of beat around the bush with all this fluff. And he has a new program coming up that's kicking off next week, and I wanted him to tell you guys a little bit about it. So, Matthew, what are you guys doing next week?
Well, Ashley, thank you. And the feeling, of course, is entirely mutual. So we're about to launch the second run of the Project program. Now, we is Natalie Sisson, the suitcase entrepreneur, and myself. And if you don't know Natalie, she's a force of nature. She lives nowhere and everywhere. She's currently in Malaysia. She's been in Canada. She's been in the UK. She's been in the Netherlands. She's originally from New Zealand, and she runs her business, and incredibly successful business, out of her laptop and her suitcase. So we were discussing together. We've been accountability partners for a long time. We were discussing together what it was that we felt people would really appreciate based on our experiences with our own clients. And as entrepreneurs, what we tend to have is an endless flurry of ideas. So ideas are limitless. We see money making opportunities. We see potential grand scheme concepts everywhere we look. We have Evernote databases filled with good ideas. We have more domain names than we know what to do with. Each one represents a new idea that we've had at 3 o'clock in the morning. We've jotted down in our idea book. But you know, the future and the world, in fact, if you read my ebook, which we'll mention in a moment, the world really belongs to action takers. So we wanted to create a very safe and very productive environment where our clients could achieve something tangible and measurable within a very short time period. And that doesn't mean write a blog post within a half-hour slot. It meant you have a month to fulfill and complete a very serious and worthwhile project. And that project we envisaged could be anything: creating an ebook, or designing a whole new business plan, creating a website, putting together a course, even decorating your kid's bedroom. Certainly I know that would be a very useful thing for me, because the house tends to get neglected. And if I could make it my project to make sure that all the curtains get put up in our new house, then, that would be a month very well spent. So we created this last November, and it resonated very, very strongly with the people who joined us in the project program, and we had some phenomenal results. So we're launching it again in about a week's time. So it's next Monday. We're doing a webinar to tell people more about it, and then the first call, I think, takes place on Wednesday or Thursday next week.
Okay, all right, great. And, I know some people think, gosh, 4 weeks, that's not really long enough to get anything done. But you actually wrote your book in 4 weeks, didn't you?
In fewer than 4 weeks, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
wrote and got it completed the second draft in fewer than 4 weeks. So the first 50,000 words were written in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And the book is 50,000 words long. And the first 50,000 words weren't great, of course. But once that foundation was laid, it allowed me to go back and say, well, within another 2 weeks, I can actually do a reasonably good, polished second draft. And then it went off to the publisher and the editor, who turned it into something really presentable. But that was really exceptional. I did nothing else. I shut all the doors. I turned off the phone, and I would sit at my desk until I'd completed 4 to 5,000 words every day. And you don't necessarily need to commit to that kind of schedule. So I would do anywhere between 4 or 6 hours a day on that to get something out of the project plan. Sometimes you just need to commit to half an hour of concentrated activity on a daily basis. And what we do is we try and make it easy for you. By the first part of the program, we make sure we clearly identify what your project is, and more importantly, why it is important to you. Because if you don't know why you're doing it, then you're going to be less inclined to get it finished. So once we've done that, we then put together a schedule, we put together a schedule with you for your project, and we break down this project into very, very manageable chunks. And each chunk has a deadline, and each deadline requires that you check in with us. In fact, we ask for daily check-ins on the progress that you're making on your project. And sometimes it might be got nothing done today, had the flu, couldn't move. In which case, our wonderful community of supporting peers will say, that's okay. That's okay. You get back on your horse and get up there. We've all had bad days. Or you might say, didn't really feel like it today, in which case your supportive network of peers will say, well, that's not an excuse. We don't have time for you. Get back on your horse and do it. So whether you need support or whether you need gentle cajoling and whipping, you'll get both of those with the project program.
Very cool. That's definitely a skill that I've worked on and developed over the last year, both the project management piece, but also the accountability. And it really does make a difference to have a group around you that is holding you accountable to actually get something done, especially when you're working with those really tight time frames. So very cool. Well, Matthew, what is one secret that you can share with us so that we can be more productive today?
My favorite one is saying no. It's creating constraints and turning down opportunities, which doesn't come naturally to us as small business owners who are always hustling for the next dollar.
Right.
Because an opportunity presents itself and you say, sounds great. And they say, well, can you promote my thing? I'll make you an affiliate. And it needs to be launched tomorrow. And you go, yes, I'll do it. Or, listen, I wonder if you'd have a chat with my cousin who doesn't have any money at the moment, but would really do with some advice. And hopefully if they make some money, then they'll go to hire you as a coach in a few years' time. And you say, well, I want to pass up this opportunity to reap goodwill. And I'd say no. Say, I would love to help you. I would love to accede to your request. And I'd be very, very interested in working with you on this interesting joint venture proposal next month.
Right.
So let's discuss it next month, because I can't commit to doing that this month. And without exception, the most productive people I know, and by productive I mean people who actually create and finish things. So they start projects and they finish projects, are the people who tell you, I can't do it today, but let's discuss it on, the 16th of April, 2014. That's their time that they're able to plan many, many months in advance what they're going to be doing. And that is the only way that you allow yourself to create the space to finish things. That's my number one secret. And so within the project program, we give you that constraint, which is 4 weeks. We get you to make that public declaration, both to us, and we also encourage you to make a wider declaration of what you're going to do and when it's going to be finished. If you're going to launch a new website, we would encourage you to announce that to everybody you know. And even if the only people who know you are your mother and your sister, so they understand that you need the space, but also so they'll be expecting the delivery.
Right.
And then, of course, you get strict accountability on a daily basis with your friends and your peers, and then with Natalie and I. And we take you on a weekly basis through the various phases of your program. So we get on the phone together 4 times a week. No, we don't. We get on the phone together in the space of a month. And we interact on a daily basis, both through our wonderful Get Things Done email forum, but also on the private Facebook group that we've created.
Well, very cool, Matthew. So I know that you mentioned that you and Natalie are doing a webinar this coming Monday, and that you also have an ebook out that I think would be really helpful for people. So can you speak to those two things really quickly?
Absolutely. So on Monday, the 14th of January, let me just check the dates. I'm pretty sure it's right. Yes, Monday, the 14th of January at midday Eastern sharp, we're hosting a webinar, which obviously will promote the project program, but we want to give you some real meat in that as well. So we're going to show you how to have the 4 most productive weeks of your life, whether or not you join the project program. And we will invite you to do so at the end, of course. We also have an ebook, How to Be Really Effing Productive, which is available. Ashley, will you be in a position to?
Yeah, I'll link up to everything below the video. So I'll share all those links.
And you can go and download that now, read it. It's 19 pages. I wrote it yesterday in Vegas. So I like to chew my own medicine. Is that to mix my metaphors? Certainly swallow my medicine. And that was produced yesterday for the purposes of promoting the project program, but also it's 19 pages of incredibly useful instructions on getting more hours in your day in order to work on things that are important to you.
Very cool. So, you guys, this is a great program to consider if you have something that you really want to accomplish to kind of kick off the new year in a big way. You'll learn a ton that you can apply to your business moving forward, how to do projects, how to, stay accountable and produce results. So, I highly encourage you to check out the project program. The link is below the video. And if you want to join Matthew and Natalie on Monday for their webinar, that link's below. And Matthew's ebook, How to Be Really Effing Productive, is below as well. Matthew, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Ashley. Thank you very much.
Yep. See you soon.